This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by North Shore Community College. If you have the will to attend college, we have the way for you to earn your degree.
Good morning and welcome to LCTV News. I'm Dani Vittori, and this week, more holiday events took place, grants were awarded, and winter sports have officially begun in the city. On the Lynn Lowdown, we had Josh Polonsky, president of the Pine Hill Civic Association, to discuss their goals for the upcoming year. Here's the news for Friday, December 16th, 2022. The school committee unanimously voted to select Dr. Yvonne Alvarez for the position of superintendent of Lynn Public Schools. This vote was taken last night, the 15th, after the three finalists had completed their meet and greets and last interviews with the school committee. Kevin McCaskill and Molly Cohen went on Wednesday, while Dr. Alvarez went last night. Dr. Alvarez spoke about her time as a principal back in 2012, the changes she implemented with students, and how rewarding it was when she saw them graduate 4 years later. She also discussed her open door policy and how she focuses on making herself available and accessible as a leader. After all the interviews were completed, the committee went into discussion. According to school committee member Eric Dugan, quote, Dr. Alvarez, when she was presenting the things she had done in her school, her whole demeanor changed, and you could just see the joy of teaching and the joy of education coming out of her at that time, end quote. The members then voted unanimously to select Dr. Alvarez as the next superintendent, pending a successful negotiation of a contract. To watch the full interviews, discussion, and vote, head to our website, lyntv.org. The Lynn Police Department received a Massachusetts Municipal Public Safety Grant funding in the amount of $528,321. They are using the money to hire a crime analyst, as well as new officers for their drug, bike, and gang units. Before, the position of crime analyst was filled by a lieutenant, but the department can no longer dedicate one to the position due to staffing shortages, so they will be hiring someone for the position full-time. Additions to the gang and drug units will be tasked with expanding programs focused on helping youth stay away from crime, while the gang department is focusing specifically on gun violence in the city. Lynn is one of 10 communities to receive MUNI funding, which distributed $4.8 million in total. To qualify, the municipal area must have at least 60,000 people and have an operating budget of less than $200 per capita. The New Lynn Coalition has launched its annual No Hunger raffle, where 100% of the proceeds go towards funding fresh groceries for those in need. The program was started 3 years ago and has been growing ever since. Tickets start at 1 for $10, 3 for $20, 10 for $50, and 25 for $100. Some of the prizes include a pair of Celtics tickets, 4 Red Sox tickets, 2 Bruins tickets, and more. Tickets can be purchased using Cash App or Venmo to @LynnCoalition or by emailing northshoreFoodAid@gmail.com to pay by cash or check. On the 13th, City Council unanimously voted to approve a 5% cost of living adjustment for retired workers in the city of Lynn. The city already had a 3% adjustment, so this adds an additional 2%. In order to be eligible for this increase, the retiree must have a base pension of $12,500. This comes in response to the state legislator raising the maximum COLA from 3 to 5% over the summer. For the fiscal year of 2023, it would cost the city $27,500 and give recipients $62.50 extra each month, compared to the $37.50 they had been getting with the 3% adjustment. According to the Retirement Board Executive Director, Gary Brenner, most retirees live on a fixed income and most can no longer work, so this was a good vote to be passed. The City Council also voted 9-2 to approve a new zoning board ordinance, which requires affordable housing units to be included in all new housing developments. Originally recommended by the Lynn Housing Plan and presented to City Council by Mayor Nicholson, it puts into place specifications that at least 10% of the housing units must be reserved for those who make less than 60% of the area median income. As the city is trying to attract life science companies, giving people an affordable place to live will allow companies to hire those from Lynn for their workforce. It also changes the required amount of open space on the waterfront from 30 to 35% to 10%. Both the mayor and others expressed how inclusive housing is important as the population of Lynn continues to grow. The City of Lynn received $86,954 as part of the Housing Choice Grant Programs Award being given out by the Baker-Polito administration. They are giving $3.9 million in grants to over 37 projects. With the money, the city will be creating a waterfront Station Ave plan to support a new transit-oriented mixed-use neighborhood next to the Riverworks rail stop. It will also go towards a newly designed Lynnway, which will feature rapid transit buses. This grant will help incorporate housing, access, and transportation into Lynn as they plan for the future. Last Friday the 9th, the Lynn Disability Network hosted a sensory-friendly holiday party at the DeMacus YMCA. Those in attendance were able to do a variety of activities, as well as get a picture with Santa. Take a look.
Louise here had a great idea about bringing out Santa and having the kids come out. So as parents with children with disabilities, we know it's difficult and hectic to go to the mall and get pictures with Santa and have get-togethers. So we wanted to do something that's quiet but also not so hectic. So we here did a little event with some pizza, cupcakes, some cookies for the kids, you know, for the parents too, kind of helps them relax a little bit. And the kids are taking photos with Santa, and we're just trying to, you know, do something simple for everyone.
We're looking for a place for us to do some activities where, like she said, we don't have to go to the mall, so it's a long line because we know the kids don't have like patience to stay in. So here they come in here, you know, parents don't have to be so sorry to each other because we know that's the way they are. They jump in, go up in the chair. This is what we're doing right now. But this is what we want plan to keep going and doing it in this community because we know how hard it is for us. So it is hard for the parents to go out, especially at this time of holidays.
What I want parents to take out of this is for them to feel comfortable with our Lynn Disability Network group and Caring Hearts, to be able to come out at these events and feel like they don't have to be under so much stress and pressure. We want them to feel comfortable. We want them to feel relaxed and be able to come out with that understanding of we are here for them. We are doing it for them and their children.
Saturday the 10th, the North Shore Juneteenth Association held inclusive Santa photos at the Lynn Public Library. Santas representing different ethnic and cultural backgrounds were in attendance taking pictures with children. Here's more.
Here we have our Inclusive Santa event. It's the first time we've hosted anything like this. And it's so exciting because we actually have 6 Santas here representing different ethnicities and cultures. And we wanted to host this event because we understand how important it is for children to see themselves reflected back in everything. And Santa certainly is a magical, wonderful person that brings love and joy. So we want all of our littles to see themselves in Santa.
I'm very proud of the turnout and the cultures being represented here. You can see it's the need for it. Like the people that came out, they were so excited, and seeing all of the children so excited to see all of the Santas of different cultures is really the best.
We wanted to have the event in the community. So what better place than the library that's so welcoming of everyone?
And we're very happy that Teresa allowed us, well, the director of the library, allowed us to have this space, and she just let us use it. We're very excited and thankful to her for doing that.
We had a lot of moms polling for sponsors.
The Lynn Community Fridge.
Lynn Community Health, the Children's Bazaar.
Then North Shore.
The Energy Bar, the Artful Life out of Salem, and Boston Legal. Contacting people that they see the value in this and making this happen.
Christmas carols on Merrill Ave took place on Sunday the 11th. The Lynn Public Schools All-City Band entertained the neighborhood on one of several nights they are scheduled to perform. Here is more.
I've been in band since 5th grade, and I'm in 10th grade right now. The Lynn All-City Band is a band for the entire city of Lynn from schools of tech, classical, and English. We are getting funds for the band because there are important things that we need for like scholarships, the band jackets, and other instruments such as the percussion. And you can help by booking the band for gigs for caroling. And yearly we collect funds, different areas. Last year we did it at Salem 5 Bank on Boston Street and Big Lots. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's.
Tuesday the 13th was full of events. First up was a special ed holiday party. Hosted at the Knights of Columbus and sponsored by the Salamini family, 150 special education children got a present and picture with Santa. Take a look.
The secret to this program is our son, Dave Jr., who has sponsored this for well over 30 years. And he's really the secret to it.
Well, hello, everybody, and Merry Christmas. As you can see, my dad enjoys Christmas very much. He's Santa's favorite elf. And along with my son, it's our pleasure as a family to sponsor the Special Needs Christmas Party. And the joy on the kids' faces is just something special. And we have as much fun as the kids do participating in this. So thank you all.
On behalf of our city, to wish you all a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all who celebrate, and to send a big thank you to everyone for putting on this amazing event. It's such a wonderful morning, so much holiday cheer. It put a smile on our faces as we walked in the door. You can feel the energy, you can feel the excitement, and it's a lot of hard work to make this all come together. Thank you so much to the Salamini family for sponsoring. Thank you. Thank you to the city's Parks and Recreation team for organizing it. Thank you. And then a special thank you to the faculty, staff, the whole team of the Lynn Public Schools Special Education Department, all the educators, all the folks that do this incredible work all year long. Thank you so much for the bottom of our hearts.
LifeScene held a Hope for the Holidays gift card distribution at their facility from 2 to 5:30 that day. Families who came received a gift card, while children could also get a photo with Santa, candy, and a toy. Here's a clip from the event.
We are doing a Hope for the Holidays today. This is a celebration right around the holidays between Thanksgiving and Christmas, where we like to give back to the community for the families who have lived here, for the families who might need a little extra support this time, who have kids and just need somebody to lean on. And we are here to be that support system for them.
I think in general, the work that we do at LifeScene, we're doing a lot of giving throughout the year with things that might not be so fun. So it's like things that are basic necessities, but this is a time that we can really just show appreciation and give a little bit extra, because the holidays are a really stressful time of year for everyone, but especially for families that we work with. And so I think that being able to put a little bit of a smile on their face, and we're giving them a toy or letting them take a picture with Santa, giving them candy, and just sharing that comfortable support instead of so formal and so serious, where we can really relate person to person.
Some of them don't even know that they're receiving it. You know, a lot of us just gave them a call like, hey, can you come show up today? And when, you know, they showed up, we explained to them what was going on. They were like, oh, you know, and some of them, you know, are tears like, you know, this little extra money is going to help significantly. So that's also what we're doing here. You know, we're putting smiles on their face, like Jamie said, and giving them something that they didn't expect.
When those kids walk in here, just bright eyes, wide open, they're looking around like the candy, and I mean, just some of our favorite moments, like the kids were grabbing candy and actually giving it out to us. You know, just that spirit of being in a safe, comfortable space, joyful, smiling it's infectious, you know? It really rubs off on you. I can't think of like something better than that.
Later in the evening, a Raw Artworks installation was unveiled in room 302 of City Hall. A group of high schoolers hung their paintings, which they had been working on for the past 5 weeks as part of a program run by Raw Artworks. Several members of City Hall attended the event, as well as members from the community. Here is more from the event.
My name is Allison Miller. I am a senior expressive arts therapist at Raw Artworks. This is the Pulse group. It's a high school group of gender-specific teenagers, female identifying, and gender expansive. And the show is all about their dreams and how they want to dream bigger for themselves and for the community. So it's really exciting to be here. It's great to have members of City Hall attend.
This is incredible to have you all here and for you to be sharing your art. I totally agree with what Alice said about the bravery that you guys have exhibited by being here and sharing your work. I can't tell you how meaningful it is to be surrounded by your artwork as leaders of this community in high school, and sending just a message about why we're here. And so I just want to thank you so much for sharing and for being a part of this exhibit. Thank you.
And we're asking everyone on these clouds here to share their dreams. So as much as this is about the artists and their thoughts and their dreams, it's also about bringing community together to dream bigger for the new year.
Now for the sports update. Winter sports have officially begun, and KIPP boys basketball began perfect, winning their first game 66-46 over Northeast Metro. The Panthers came out in attack mode and jumped out to a 17-5 lead as they found lanes to the basket. KIPP scored double the amount of points as Metro to end the first half 38-19, with senior captain Asaru Evbenaya scoring 20 of those points and tacking on 7 rebounds and 3 assists. They then had a 12-0 run to begin the second half before Metro was finally able to get on the board. A strong third gave the Panthers a 55-28 lead, and Metro was unable to catch up. The reigning state champion St. Mary's girls basketball team just beat out Winthrop 50-48 to begin this season with a win. The Spartans began the game with a full-court press, but changed their strategy in the second half as they were unable to get and maintain momentum. The first half ended with St. Mary's trailing 26-24. The leading scorers for the Spartans were Nia Morgan, who scored 17 points, and Yersi Quieles, who added 14. The teams continued to battle in the second half, and some key free-throw makes secured the win for the Spartans. The boys' team played nationally ranked St. Benedict's later that night, and despite a hard-fought game, were defeated 66-48. St. Mary's boys hockey beat Bridgewater Raynham 4-2. They were down 2-0, but the Spartans came storming back, scoring 4 unanswered goals. Jake Hall and Cam McGonigal scored all 4. The Spartans girls hockey team had a commanding 7-1 victory over Bishop Fenwick. 2 Spartans reached milestones, with Chloe Sullivan scoring her first career goal and Jenna Chaplin scoring her 100th. Gabby Oakes also added 2 of her own goals. They then won their second game of the season 2-0 over the combined Peabody-Linfield North Reading team. The Lynn English Bulldogs boys basketball team had an impressive 86-42 victory against Chelsea, with Denzel Gulen as their leading scorer at 16 points. They had a 30-point lead entering the fourth quarter and continued their strong play to get to 1-0. In a special ceremony at City Hall, football star and Lynn native Jonel Aguero of St. John's Prep was honored. He was an All-American and the 2022 Mass Preps Player of the Year, and after receiving almost 50 offers to play college ball, he selected Georgia as the place to continue his playing career. St. John's Prep won the Division I state championship earlier this year, and Aguero was a big part of that as both a receiver and defensive back. The New England Patriots are back in the win column after defeating the Arizona Cardinals 27-13 on Monday night. In a game that was riddled with injuries, both teams had to go deep into their lineups. The Patriots saw Jack Jones and Devontae Parker get injured and not return. Running back Ramondre Stevenson also suffered an ankle injury and played far fewer snaps for the rest of the game. Cardinals starting quarterback Kyler Murray went down on the 3rd snap of the game when he tore his ACL on a non-contact play. It was a back-and-forth battle with the halftime score 10-13 in favor of the Cardinals. However, the Pats defense came out strong in the second half, recording 6 sacks on the night. Josh Uche made his presence known, recording half of the sacks himself. A fumble by Cardinal DeAndre Hopkins in the 3rd resulted in a defensive score when linebacker Raekwon McMillan picked up the loose ball and brought it all the way back for a Pats touchdown. Already thin at running back, the Patriots went to 4th year Pierre Strong Jr., who took full advantage of the opportunity, going 70 yards on 5 carries, including a 10-yard rushing touchdown. Quarterback Mac Jones also had a decent night, going 235 yards with a touchdown and interception. The Patriots will stay out west as they play the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday the 18th at 4 p.m. The Celtics suffered 2 losses in a row to the Golden State Warriors on the 10th and the LA Clippers on the 12th. This is the first time since late October that the Celtics have had 2 consecutive losses. Against Golden State, Jaylen Brown was the only Celtic to score more than 20 points with 31. The next closest being Jason Tatum at 18. While the Warriors had both Steph Curry and Klay Thompson break 30. Boston was down 33-25 after the first quarter and was unable to generate the offense necessary to catch up, resulting in a final score of 123-107. Against the Clippers, they only shot 23% on field goals and hit just 9 of their 39 three-point attempts, falling 113-93. The Celtics then bounced back with a 122-119 overtime victory against the Los Angeles Lakers. Jason Tatum had a standout night with 44 points, while the Celtics as a team had 27 points in the first quarter. A bounce back by the Lakers tied the game at 100 apiece to force overtime, where the Celtics secured the win to move to 22-7 on the season. The Bruins have gone 2-1 over the past week, losing 4-3 to the Arizona Coyotes before beating the Golden Knights 3-1 and the New York Islanders 4-3 in an overtime shootout. The Knights bested the Bruins early in the season, but this time the Bees flipped the script, scoring twice in the third for the victory. Linus Ullmark had another 30-save night for his 16th win of the year. Then on the 13th against the Islanders, it was a back-and-forth game, with the Bruins going up 2-0 before New York countered with 2 of their own. On an Islanders power play, the Bruins went the other way and scored on a wrist shot by Derek Forbort, despite being down a skater. Another goal by the Islanders in the third forced overtime where no one scored, so they went to a shootout. A score by David Pastrnak in the third round gave the Bruins a 2-1 lead, then Ullmark had a save on the Islanders' turn to cement the win. On this episode of the Lynn Lowdown, we had Josh Polonsky, the president of the Pine Hill Civic Association, to discuss the origins of the association and events they organize. Here is the Lowdown. Good morning and welcome back to the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Dani Vittori, and today we have on the Pine Hill Civic Association. We have their president, Josh Polonsky. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So would you mind just starting out a quick overview of what the association does, like who's involved with it?
So the Pine Hill Civic Association is part of the Pine Hill neighborhood. It's a community organization. We, the neighbors of anywhere around, what's considered Pine Hill in the city of Lynn, are able to be members of that. We try to do community service projects, or we also try to give. Trying to think of a good way to word it. We try to provide some fun family activities within our own neighborhood for the kids and the families that live in our area.
Yeah, it does. It sounds like a fun time. Do you happen to know how many businesses or people are members or involved?
So we don't have any businesses that are members. It's all, the rules for membership, if you want to consider it, the rules for membership would be you have to live within the Pine Hill community, and we charge a financial, charge a fee of $25 for the year for a family membership, and that covers your entire household. That fee covers a lot of the events. You've been to the craft fair.
Yes.
We had you guys out at Haunted Happenings. Mm-hmm. Those kind of events, our members can come down and take part in for that membership fee. Throughout the course of the year, we have some other events that they're able to take part in, and that is that's what the fee covers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it covers some of the events that you put on, like you said, the family fun events.
The family fun. So we've got a 4th of July event. We've got Haunted Happenings, our 2 biggest events for the year. We also try to do some other events throughout the year. A wintertime party. We do, and after the school year ends, we do a movie night for the families of Pine Hill. And those financial costs that we incur as an organization to put those events on is what those membership costs go towards.
Yeah, makes sense to me. And you said you have to live within the Pine Hill district, of course, but then how would a family sign up for, or not sign up, but I don't know the right word to use, but join?
Right, so generally our membership year runs from July 4th is when it's historically been in the past. We start our membership year at July 4th. That was always our big premier event, even going back to before we had haunted happenings and things like that. So you just fill out a simple membership application. Let's get your name, address, family. We don't even ask for family income or anything like that. We just ask for members of the family. What school do your kids go to if you have kids? If not, just what address. We always look for volunteers within the neighborhood to help out at day of, help out at different events, to pull these events together. Leading up to the events, we ask for if people are around to volunteer their time as well to help prep for the events. Yeah,
because the events you put on, they're pretty big, they're impressive. I remember I went to the craft fair, we had another person cover haunted happenings, and they are these very big, impressive events.
Thank you, I appreciate that. So it does take a lot leading up to any given event. A lot of these events that we've done in the past, it's been the same group of people for quite a while running the event, so a lot of it becomes kind of a muscle memory and familiarity with, okay, here's what we need to do leading up to haunted happenings. Here's our timeline. We've taken some notes and tweaked our notes every year at the end of each event, say, all right, we could do this and this and this better. How do we improve upon it next year? And then what did we do last year? That kind of helps with the planning and the prep of the events to sort of have that institutional knowledge of going forward and making the events happen.
Yeah, every year sort of building off of it, going, what could we do better? What could we change? What went well?
Exactly.
You said, learning from it. So as the president, what do you do? What are your sort of specific responsibilities?
So as the president of the organization, I try to make sure that our board members, we try to stay in touch. We don't even have regular monthly meetings or weekly meetings or anything like that, but more so as the time ticks towards one particular event, I reach out generally first via email to our board members that we have and say, hey, we've got haunted happenings coming up. Everybody's still available. Why don't we meet together real quick and let's talk about what we need to do, who's available, what are the dates. Here's 3 dates I can put out there. So try to kind of head end the initiation of the initial planning of here are the dates, here's the timeline. Let's find something that works for everybody. What makes sense, what doesn't make sense, and sort of get the informational flow going, and then the board members jump in instantaneously and say, okay, I want to take on this, I can take on this, I can do this, I can't do this, but maybe somebody else can. So just kind of overall, as it relates to specific events throughout the year, kind of keep us on a timeline and keep the information flow set up with the City of Lynn. When we're going to use, say, Gallagher Park, for example, we need to reach out to the DPW. Generally, I end up reaching out to the DPW for the use of facilities forms and things like that to make sure that paperwork end of it is on point.
Yeah. Sounds like a big job, a really important one, because you have to make sure the events flow well. And one of the events that you mentioned before, the craft fair, you were talking about what the proceeds go towards, the helping a family.
Right. So we charge a table fee for our vendors at the craft fair that we run. This past year, we had 30 vendors come out, and they were able to sell, their different homemade crafts and things like that, small businesses. So we charge them a table fee, which, from what I've learned, is considerably cheaper than a lot of other craft fairs that these vendors have gone to. So what we're doing, we feel like it's important, as I said, important to have events for the community, and at the same time, we feel like it's important to support things like small business or homemade crafter. So we take that table fee, and then with that fee, we sponsor a family in need at Christmas time. And we got that family, this will be our 3rd year sponsoring the family. We worked with the Lynn Community Health Center in anonymously finding a family in need at Christmas time who otherwise wouldn't have a Christmas or wouldn't have things at Christmas. And we're able to provide a list. We get a list from the shelter. It's generally a family going into transitional housing. The shelter will provide us a list of everybody, you know, mom, dad, kids, and so on. This is the list. These are the needs, and then we, to the best of our ability, fulfill that entire Christmas wish list for the family. And that is the money that we collect from the craft fair goes directly to that program that we've done.
I love that, though. You said giving back, and you want the holidays to not be a stressful time for these families. You want to give them something that's nice, that's fun.
Right. It should be. I feel like it should. The holidays should be a fun time. Whether it's, Christmas, if you celebrate that, Thanksgiving, Easter, no matter what it is, anytime you're leading into a holiday, it should be a fun time for your family to be able to get together and enjoy each other's company. And if you've got to worry about the stresses of, if you're a parent, I've got 2 kids. I know my kids have their wish list for these holidays and birthdays and so on. And as a parent, any parent wants to try to provide the best they can for their kids. And if you're in a situation where you can't, and we as an organization are able to help lift any kind of burden off of a family, then that's our way of giving back. We're glad to do so.
I do. Said I love that. And it led into a little bit one of my final questions of why do you think the association is so important? You just stated a really big one, giving back to the community.
So I feel like it's in the news, in news and everything, you always hear bad stories, whether it's about all the big cities, Lynn, Lowell, Lawrence. Bad news happens, travels fast, much faster than good news, and people kind of get down and feel like, oh man, this is happening, that's happening. But if we can lift people up and show that there's still good in the community, we can show people that it's a great thing to do. Come out to your neighborhood and have fun. I know that happens all around the city of Lynn with other organizations similar to ours in the individual neighborhoods where people come out, they have fun, they enjoy each other's company, they enjoy their neighbors. Getting to know your neighbors is important, and it builds that sense of community. I think that's important, to build a sense of community within the city, within your own neighborhoods, where people get to know each other and can realize you can have fun right here in your own backyard.
Yeah, definitely, and it seems like your association really does that. I'm so glad you were able to come on and talk about it, share some of your events. And
I appreciate that. Yeah, we've been around, the Pine Hill Civic Association has existed since 1915. Wow. So despite the fact I've been involved for quite a long time, both as a kid, my parents ran the organization when I was a kid.
Oh, wow.
And then I took over as I get older. I haven't been around since 1915 anyhow.
Not quite.
My kids might argue the point, but
not quite.
Not quite that low.
Well, again, thank you, Josh, for coming on, for sharing some of this history.
I appreciate it.
Oh, of course, anytime. And once again, I'm Dani Vittori. This is the Lynn Lowdown. We'll see you next week with more guests. Now for the community calendar. Next Monday the 19th, there will be a meeting to discuss the site for the new Pickering Middle School happening in the school's auditorium and on Zoom. The meeting will run from 6 to 8 p.m. The meeting will also be recorded by LCTV for those who are unable to attend but still wish to see what is discussed. Those in attendance will be able to ask questions as well as hear about the potential sites for the school. Also on the 19th, LCTV will be having a free screening of the Christmas movie Elf at 7 p.m. as part of the Paramount film series. Come to 181 Union Street for the screening and free refreshments. The Paramount film series is named in honor of the Paramount Theater, which used to sit at the same location that LCTV occupies today. The film centers on Buddy, played by Will Ferrell, a human who was adopted and raised by Santa's elves. He learns about this and heads to New York City to meet his biological father, while also spreading Christmas cheer in a world of cynics in the process. Saturday, the 24th, there will be a Christmas Eve family dinner at Brothers Deli and Energy. The group Sin City Project is organizing the event and will be led by Jason Gonzalez. Their goal is to spread holiday cheer and distribute Christmas meals and toys to families who may otherwise not have them. The event will take place from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. For more information on these events and others, go to our website, lyntv.org. That is all the news for this week. To learn more about events happening around the city, follow us on social media at Lynn Community Television. To watch our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Lynn Community Television. For our community calendar, news, and interviews, head to our website, lyntv.org. I'm Dani Vittori, this is LCTV News, and we will see you next week.